What's up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another smartphone couch video. The body game nation can't be stopped. Can't be stopped. I'm gonna tell you what. You know what? The other day I was just going like just scrolling through my phone. It was on YouTube. Sometimes when I'm just sitting back and I get random stuff, and I was all of a sudden getting all these body game videos. I was like, man, it's from a lot of small creators who haven't reached 1,000 yet, but reached that threshold. Well, actually, the threshold is 500 now. That's something for my business channel to start making money. But I'm gonna tell you what. Though. It's amazing. Got all these young guys, especially, talking about body game, talking about the benefits of it. And, I was just thinking, because, of course, you got some detractors and stuff, but I'm like, man, this thing has grown, It's just a simple term I coined. And, of course, I ain't the only one who's talking. There's people, plenty of content creators that don't even use the word body game, a lot of fitness influencers and stuff like that. And I mean, that's a big thing. In fact, there's a page I follow on IG, and they be having Ebony Fit Freaks or something like that. I'll put a link for it in the description box. I forgot what it is, but this is primarily some black fitness people really into fitness, man. They be having like meetings and stuff, conferences, expos, stuff like that. They got a whole serious growing subculture. That's how deep it is. So they don't usually, as far as I know, none of them use the term body game, but it's still the same principle. But as far as me and just how I use it, and I talk about it for, as the primary way of attracting women, it's getting big. Now, it's funny about that because you still see some guys say, nah, that don't matter. Yeah, okay. They'll say, oh, you just need a face and height. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't see any exotic dancing clubs or stuff like that, or any gigolos who are just getting it on face and height. Now, if they got those two and a muscular body. But, and just the thing, if you're talking about just getting women and everything, I mean, women just like bodies. I mean, I lost track of how many times people have sent me some clip of some women on TikTok or IG or whoever talking about they going crazy over bodies. Shoot, you got pages right on, channels right on YouTube. They be showing the same thing. But whatever the case, though, it's growing. The term itself, the body game nation, is growing. And I'm going to tell you what, though. It goes beyond, it really does go beyond just getting women. It's a health thing. Now, I tell people, I had no problems telling people I'm 58, but I can still throw up over 200 pounds. Now, I ain't like super cut or anything, but even then, just strong. Because, it's like, and that's very important for older men. I highly recommend that for older men. In fact, I've had some older men comment and say, you know what, they got back in the gym, they feeling healthier. Because body game is more than just getting the women, or the aesthetics, but it's just being healthier. It's being healthier. Like men especially need to do resistance training. If you in your 50s and older and really just start when you're young, that resistance training staves off like heart issues, stress, all of that. And it's actually better even if you want to lose weight. Many personal trainers say if you want to lose weight, fitness training. And then if you think about another part of body game that I don't talk about as much is nutrition. Nutrition, you eat better. You got to have the energy, and plus you have to eat better. You have to eat better. And that's very important, especially in this day and age. You got so many genetically modified foods. Like You know, there's always that thing about, yeah, they doing all that creatine and protein. And yeah, that's a section, and that's bigger than anything I'm talking about. But you know, this fruit smoothies, vegetables, and all of that. Not eating as much meat. I mean, yeah, you can still throw that down, but then you're going to be very concerned about what you eat and everything. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I would say this: if anybody out there really wants to lose weight, just cut your calories. Or if you want to put on weight, put more calories. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. So it really becomes more of a lifestyle. But I'm gonna tell you something now, and I said this at the Game Kings 2 seminar in New York. I specifically talked about this. Anybody who attended, and there's a link. If you go down in my description box, there's a link to it. I specifically said body game is more than just, you know, the aesthetics. It's way more. See, if you're talking about masculinity. And that, like I say, it's not the aesthetics, but as a man, you got to have the ability to take action. You got to have the ability to do. You got to physically do shit. Not just be healthy, but I don't care what you want to do. Because let's be real, most men going to have to physically be active to make money. You're going to have to physically be active. If anybody say, well, I'll just be on the computer and stuff. How many guys are really just doing that? Most guys are going to have to work. Most guys are going to have to move around. You got to have the ability to move around. And then when they even talk about the house of the man, if you look at it, now there's only one part of the house of the man that's not, doesn't have to do with just physically moving around. That's the ego part. That's the logical, rational part. You have to think. But anybody who has heard me talk about the house of the man, no, you need to bring those other ones online. So, okay, you're the warrior. You might have to physically defend yourself. And then if you're working, of course, you need to physically move. And that gets into the hunter. If you're going to be that hustler, that money maker, you got to be able to move around. You got to have the energy to move around. Shout out Kevin Samuels. What do you always say? Working 60 hours a week. You need to be working at least 60 hours a week. You got to have the energy to do that. That's why I've said in all the gyms I've been a member of, you get a lot of CEOs in there, managers, everything from that to blue collar workers, everything. In fact, one gym I worked at, we had some drug dealers in there being spotted by police officers. It was like the safe place. Everybody knew what was up. That was like the most interesting place. Yeah, like cops spotting drug dealers and the other way around, and everybody knew who was who. But it's all about that energy and everything. See, men, as a man, period, you're expected to move. You got to take action. You have to physically be able to take action. But what if you out of shape and everything? And when I say out of shape, I don't mean aesthetically. You just physically can't do anything. It ain't about the aesthetics. It's about you need the energy to do stuff. And that's part of the thing you're working out for. There's a lot of guys, you know what, they ain't going to win no fitness model contest or physique contest, and that's cool. But they can work those 10-hour days, those 12-hour days if they have to. And then maybe go to that other job where they got to hustle and everything. You know? Shoot, the woman part, that's just a small part. I talk about sovereignty. You can have the energy to be sovereign. Because one, you're going to have the energy to work because money is a big part of it. You might have to work that business. You might have to work that job where you got to be on your feet all day. And I've been on some jobs. I had to be on my feet all day. So you had to be in decent shape. And when I say shape, have the ability to stand on your feet, to move around. Like you could stay busy, stay active for 10 hours a day. And let's be real, people try to put down blue collar guys, but they definitely have to be gotta be in good shape. Construction workers, people of that sort. Or you talk about firemen, police officers, and everything. Shoot. That's what it's all about. It's not just like a one thing. The aesthetics part is actually a small thing, or even turning on the women. You gotta have the energy to do stuff. You know, you gotta have the energy to move around, and that's all of that is in the body game. So it's like, yeah, the woman, that's a great part, but then you get so much else, and you can take action. You have to have the ability to take action. And you know what? I gotta say, I've seen it, and then a lot of guys who follow the body game philosophy, they're actually saying they actually hit me up. They ain't just they'll tell me about the women, but they say, hey Rom, Uncle Rom, OG, I got this business started. I'm doing this. You know what, OG, I'm going back to school. Because understand something. Your body is your vehicle. Your body is your vehicle. You can't get past that. You cannot get past that. So you need to keep it in great, good shape. And like I said, it ain't about trying to be like super muscular or super lean, super cut or anything. All those things are good, but just being in your best. Because I've known some big men. I've known plenty of big men. They work out too. They be in the gym too, but they just doing their thing. Physically strong, all of that. But they use it to do their work. And that's the key. Because it's not, like I said, it's not always just about the aesthetics, but the power, the ability to keep staying, to keep going and everything is about your health. Especially for older men. Like I said, for all the older fellas, resistance training is highly recommend resistance training. If you got something like high blood pressure or diabetes, resistance training, also what you're eating. And then I'm going to tell you on a deeper level. I'm going to tell you, let's get deep. Let's talk about being a man, period. What's a man? A man is someone who is disciplined. A true man is disciplined. He got willpower. One of the things with having a regular workout schedule, and it don't have to be in the gym. You could just say you just going for a walk. I've seen plenty. You see plenty of older men. They just walking, Or you could say, well, I'm gonna do 200 push-ups a day. I know a brother in his 60s who actually master teacher BGS know exactly what I'm talking about. This dude can do like 200 straight push-ups, and he's in his 60s, and he's also big on eating. But it's that discipline. Because for a man to stick with some type of routine or something, that's discipline. That is discipline. And see, once a man becomes disciplined, he grows into a true man because he's not in that juvenile stage or even in that feminine energy stage. He has order. And yeah, I say feminine energy stage. You get a lot of guys, they don't have any discipline to them or anything. That's the main thing a man is about, his willpower. His willpower, his discipline, that creates it. It's not about trying to win a contest or anything or look like a fitness model, but you still get that discipline. And that's one of the main things a man needs. And not for even just a woman, but for his life. I talk about being sovereign. How you going to be sovereign if you're not disciplined? Like every man should have something. If you don't want to work out, okay, you can ignore everything I say, but you still got to have some level of discipline to get to where you want. And one thing body game does, just in the process of even working on yourself, it helps create discipline. And see, being disciplined, having willpower, bringing order to your own world, that's what it means to be a man. So it's beautiful. I think it's just beautiful, I think it's beautiful to have so many guys pushing body game, talking of the body game nation. It's beautiful. So anyway, and y'all probably wondering, oh, you doing a couch video? Like I said, I got a lot of extra stuff. My main job is being a father. Oh, let me say something about that too. One of the things I do with my sons, we going hiking, hitting the gym and everything. Sharing that discipline. See, a father will teach his sons into a man, and then he can just step back. But It's discipline. In civilized cultures where they had a rites of passage, the main thing they would teach a young boy is how to be disciplined. You know, they might teach him how to hunt. He might have to build something. He might have to survive something where he has to endure pain. All discipline. So, anyway, it's early. If y'all hear grumbling or something, it's still early. It ain't even 5 o'clock yet when I'm filming this. 5 in the morning. Oh, that's something else too. That discipline. I get a lot more done before 9 o'clock in the morning than many people get done in 2 days. But you gotta have discipline to do that and the strength to do that. You know? So it's so much to it. It's so much to it. And I'm just the Body Game Nation, just all the young men especially, just rising up, being that discipline thing. Makes me a proud father. Yeah, not just my biological sons, but my spiritual sons. And then for the guys around my age, my spiritual brothers. Yeah. So, Body Game Nation, rise up. Keep rising. Peace and blessings, everyone.